Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use our JV agreement, which we call a joint venture agreement. And this is going to be between you and another wholesaler. The other wholesaler is going to provide you with the end buyer. And then you and that wholesaler or JV partner, you will split the wholesale fee with that person or company. So let's jump right into it. Here on line 1, this is going to establish you as the wholesaler. So your company name is going to go here. And then this is going to establish who is the JV partner. And their name is going to go here. Then on line 2, you're going to put in the property's address, which is going to go here. On line 3, the legal description, you don't have to worry about that. We typically put NA or something like that, or you can just leave it blank because you're really just going off of this address right here, and that's going to establish the property that this agreement is going to be for between you and a JV partner. And then on line 4, in this is going to establish what the agreement is, how much of a percentage, and that's what you're going to put here, of the net assignment fee. And this is where you're going to put that at. If you just read on, it's really going to explain to you exactly what you're going to be, exactly what this contract is about. That the JV partner, if you look here, your JV partner is going to submit an end buyer's offer in writing via email to you, the seller wholesaler. And it also says if the same end buyer has already been submitted to the seller wholesaler, then the second offer will not be valid. Just basically meaning that if you've already dealt with this end buyer and they may have already given you an offer or something like that, you don't have to, well, you wouldn't have to take that offer from your JV partner. You're saying, oh, I already have an offer from that end buyer. I've already dealt with that end buyer. And then here, you're going to, on line 5, the length of the agreement, and then you put it in days, because the whole purpose of this JV agreement is so that the JV partner does not tie your property up if they're out marketing a property. Because a lot of times what'll happen is a JV partner will tell you, hey, I got an end buyer that can go ahead and buy that property. So you're like, okay. But then when you do a regular agreement with them, come to find out they don't have a end buyer. Now your property is tied up 30, 45 days. And remember, as a wholesaler, you only have a certain amount of time with your own contract with your purchase and sell contract that you have with the seller. You only have a certain amount of time. So they can lock you up. And so your JV partner can have your property tied up and locked up, and you're really stuck. So what you want to do is give them a certain amount of time that they have to produce an end buyer. Preferably they produce that end buyer within 10, 15 days so you can go ahead and close on the property. And then when we get to line 6, this is going to be everything. This is going to state everything that's going to happen with this contract. How the JV partner needs to perform and exactly what they need to do. So, and then down at the bottom, we go right into just the signatures. You can send this off via like a DocuSign or something like that, so you can get an e-signature, or you can do what we call wet signatures, so then they have to physically sign a piece of paper. So let's jump right into it and go ahead and set this up. So on line 1, just going to establish you, let's say your name is McKay Properties LLC. I'm sorry, see? This is a fictional name. Matter of fact, let me put 123 Properties LLC. This is you here. And then on this line, this is the JV partner's name. So let's say their name is Tech Properties Marketer LLC. We just put that down, and that's who's your JV partner. This is who you would be cutting the check to. You can cut the check, or maybe sometimes the closing company or attorney can cut the check, and they're going to make it out to them. Next is your property address. This is a property that you have under contract. So we're going to go 123 Main Street, and we're going to say it's in New Orleans. And we're going to go 70123. And like I said here, you don't have to put anything on this line. It's just a line that we put in just in case, but you don't really need this line. You can actually delete it if you wanted to. And then, like I said, here go to offer. This is what you would be paying the JV partner. Now, typically, we do 50-50 splits. We have the property under contract, and they are providing the end buyer. So typically, we do 50-50. We give them 50%, but you can give them whatever you want to give them. So we're going to say 50%, and they're going to get of the net assignment fee. So just in case there was any kind of fees you had to pay out of the assignment fees that you're going to get, anything like that, anything that you may have promised the seller, it's going to be paid out of that. So it's net. It's what you're going to get at the end of the day. So if it's $5,000, you're going to split the assignment fee in half, and they're going to get $2,500, and you're going to get $2,500. So the length of the agreement, we typically say 15 days. You can say 15 days, or you can say 15 business days. It just counts on how you want to do it. And here, just read all this right here, which isn't a lot. It's just that, like on this line, it's saying basically they're going to go out and find, your JV partner is going to go out and find the JV partner, which is here. They're going to go out and find an end buyer, and they're going to split the assignment fee that you will be getting, and they're going to split it here. This is your split, 50-50. Or they're going to get 50% of the assignment fee. Here, JV partner would contact seller, wholesaler, when an interested party is located. Once they find that party, the end buyer, and then what they're going to do, they're going to send you an email, or they can call, but typically an email. And then what's going to happen is, if you accept an offer, let's say the house was going for, you was trying to sell it for $75,000. The contract, you was trying to sell it for $75,000, and they accept that. You negotiated, and they accepted the end buyer. Then you're off to the races, and you can take that right to close, and you send the contract over to the buyer, have them sign it, and then you take all that to the closing attorney or closing title company. And that's what that's stating here. Once we assign it to them, that's all you need to do, and you're done. Here, if JV partner does not acquire end buyer, this is very important. to assign the contract within the 15 days. So we type that here. Of acceptance of this agreement, the agreement shall be voided. So then you can go off and find you another buyer. You can go off and find another JV partner. Or if you wanted to, you could extend it just in case. You never know what the circumstances may be. You have to figure that out at that time. But like I said, that's to protect you so that your contract isn't tied up. And here, if the seller, wholesaler provides the end buyer without help from the JV partner. So let's say they're taking too long and you see that they're not really providing anybody for you, an end buyer for you. If you go out and find an end buyer, there's no need for you to pay them this. You're like, well, you didn't do anything. You didn't fulfill your end. So that's why you have a contract with them for 15 days. You might say 30 days. You might say 21 days. It just counts on how you want to do your contract. And all parties agree that the property is being sold as is. Just so that they understand, it's sold as is. It's whatever in your contract between you and your seller. And typically as a wholesaler, you're doing it all cash. So you're buying it as is. And here you just put that back in, put the same number back in, 15 days. So then they know before they come down here and sign, they already know it's 15 days and that it begins when the seller, which is you, seller, wholesaler, signs this agreement. Because typically we don't sign an agreement and hand it over to the JV partner. We let them sign the agreement and then we sign it afterwards. So they'll put in their signature here, which is Tech Properties Marketer. They'll put in their signature and then they'll put in their company name. Or vice versa, I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, let me just copy this. I'll just copy it. And I typically put it here. And then let them sign here. And then here, I put in our name. Which this is just made up so that you know that. And then we sign and date it. They sign and date it here. Okay? And that's it. And that's all you need to do for that. I hope that helped. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at support@f8edp.com.